Welcome to Chapter 4 of our Lenten journey through Hannah Steele's Living His Story. This chapter is entitled Communicating Like Jesus Did. My mum is brilliant at having conversations with strangers. She has an ease about her and a desire to include that shows neither embarrassment nor awkwardness. It's always intrigued me, and sometimes it's even shown me up. When I was younger and my dad was at the peak of his career, she would chat with everybody. Sometimes it would be judges, barristers, people in public office. And at others, you would find her clearing tables and washing up and chatting passionately with the staff at an event she had attended or even hosted with my dad. She would always invite into proper conversations those who would least expect it. Whatever my mum thought of a situation, organisation or place, she would always treat everyone equally. But I think, often subconsciously, what she was really doing was looking out for the lonely, the undervalued and the overlooked. She still does this today, provided she can get out. In this chapter, Hannah invites us to see the multifaceted ways that Jesus engages with people. We see that he never approaches them in a formulaic or systematic way, but often spontaneously, always relationally, and always from the same starting point and incentive: love. I'm particularly struck by the Samaritan woman's encounter with Jesus at the well. Her encounter results in her reflecting back to the people of her town how Jesus, whom she'd only just met, knew her intimately, telling them, "He told me everything I've ever done." And through her sharing this encounter, many, we are told, believed in him. This realisation was one that I could barely process when it first dawned on me. The intimacy of the relationship that we have with Jesus continues to astound me to this day. And it's a relationship that we can invite others to come and see. Jesus longs to be in a relationship with every person whose path crosses ours. It's our job to work out moment by moment, encounter by encounter, if God is offering us the opportunity to do the inviting. The power of us sharing our encounters of Jesus with others is unlimited. It's only us that impose limits. Limits on ourselves, limits on the people we're talking to, and ultimately limits on God. But this passage in John chapter 4 tells us that many in that Samaritan town were transformed through that one woman's encounter of Jesus. God is limitless. So our challenge is to communicate like Jesus. On the surface, that sounds impossibly difficult, doesn't it? I mean, we're talking about Jesus here, the living God who knows everything about everyone. But when we look closer, we see that Jesus communicated in ways that met each person individually, talking to their deepest needs and desires, inviting them first into conversation and then a relationship. It seems to me then that once we've identified an opportunity, the most important thing we can do is listen. There aren't many greater human needs than the need to be heard. And often, in order to listen, we will need to ask questions. Hannah encourages us here to step out of our comfort zone and to ask questions rather than making assumptions about where people are at. We need to remember, or at least try to understand, what it feels like not to know Jesus, and to recognise that there are those who think belief in God is ridiculous or unethical. Once we've listened and understood, we will be in a much better position to speak. So when we do come to speak, we can do it without fear. We can relax and be a bit more like my mum, unencumbered by embarrassment or awkwardness. Because ultimately, what we speak of is only ever going to be of what we know, what we love, and what we trust. Jesus.